Or
I don't think so. That's everyone, is it?
okay, let's call the meeting to order. Sound effects. There we go. Um, First, do we have any declaration of conflicts of interest? No. No. Okay. And do we have a seconder for the approval for the minutes of the 17th?
Looks like Richard is.
Okay. Okay. And how about the approval of the agenda for tonight?
Margaret is first. Who's seconder?
Okay.
Richard again?
Does anybody have anything to add, or is it good? No? Okay. Well, let's start then. Reporting from department liaison. Let's start with Public Works. Do we have a report from Public Works?
Yes, I do. I received an email from Scott today. I didn't get a chance to review it, so just let me pull it up here. Sorry for the, it just says, hi Sharon, sorry for the delay. The big news is the AT pathway for the new roundabout with construction starting sometime in July. Other items on the go are the refreshing of lines and road marking are ongoing. Unfortunately, this weather isn't helping, but we are working as quickly as we can to refresh lines. We are planning an open house to discuss the University Avenue master plan sometime next month, which includes a major AT pathway as part of the design. Currently under design are two multi-use pathways, one on McCrae Drive, extending the existing pathway to the intersection of East Royalty Road, and the second one is going on Raiders Road from Burns Avenue to the school. Thank you, Scott. You guys have any questions?
It's all good news, I guess.
Yeah.
Trying to look up where they are.
I'll make sure I put them in the minutes.
Okay.
I think the
Okay.
one thing we should be pretty pleased about is the roundabout. That seemed to come together.
Yeah, I was reading what they're planning on doing, saying that it can't be as wide as a regular pathway, and that they're going to have the flow of traffic flow in only one direction, which nobody's going to do. If you're looking at the size of the roundabouts they have, if you look at the one on Allen Street by the Tim Hortons, that, like, there's a spot in the middle that they always have for concrete for big trucks and things to go over. And when you look at it, like, I don't see why they can't reduce the diameter in the center a little bit, put more concrete in there and pull the sidewalk over a bit more. If they pulled the sidewalk over a couple of, or the active transportation pathway over a couple feet to the left to go in, and then pull that concrete in the center a little bit. But it's good that it's going in. I just don't know what it's going to mean by them having this, flow of traffic go around in a circle one way. Just trying to get people to abide by that, it's going to be very difficult.
Is there any sort of way we could get that to the table?
I'm sure we could let them know. I spoke to the mayor. Just I was a little frustrated with how I sent him a message, and just him and I had a chat on the phone. I just told him it's been frustrating for us trying to get some information back to the city on things, and he understood that, and he said it was going back to they had talked to the design firm about it. So I think they are communicating. Maybe they're just busy with a lot of projects and stuff like that. And I know that Bike Friendly Communities has been in on it too, giving some information to them. So I
I
don't
just
know.
don't understand how it's going to be one way. It's a busy highway, busy area there.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. Um, did have you heard anything more, Carrie, about the one-way stuff?
I wasn't, my mic working? I should check.
Yeah, you're working.
Yeah, it is.
Great. I wasn't personally at the meeting that Bike Friendly had with Scott and Ramona, and I think it was one of the people from the engine, whoever's building the project. So I'm not sure. I know that was something we internally had talked about. Maybe right now I can just send a little message and see if that came up during the meeting, like if they gave a reason why they couldn't reduce the size of the, what is it called in the middle?
The center, I guess. Even
Okay.
because I just know when I look at the one on Allen Street, like that concrete that's in the center, yes, it's there for a truck or something larger to kind of move its wheels over and get through. But instead of a truck having to do where it would do like a turn, if they reduce the center where a truck could almost go not straight through, but you'd still have to do a bit of a turn. Keep the outer diameter, pull the sidewalk in. I don't know what you'd call that. I guess the inner circumference, I guess you'd call it. The inner circumference of that would be the way to maybe ask them.
I will ask the ones that were in the meeting if that came up already, and
Yeah.
they may get back to me tonight. I'm not sure, but it could also be a question. I don't know, Sharon. It could be a simple question, maybe for Scott Adams to answer if they have an answer. Although, having said that, I guess before it was said they're, well, no, they. Sorry, I just mean I know at one point they were saying there was not space to put in a multi-use lane. And I guess they haven't really changed space needed much by using the solution of having it go one way.
Well,
So let me see if I can get, sorry, any more.
sorry, Carrie. I can certainly send off an email to Scott tomorrow after the meeting and say that the inner circumference was brought up, and is there any way for us to get that to the design department to see what they could do? How does that sound?
Yeah, I think that's good.
That sounds great.
It does sound good, but I think first of all, I think the minutes should recognize that the incredible work Bike Friendlies did on this, because
Absolutely.
it was largely them who was able to do that, and that should be recorded in our minutes. But I think the broader issue here is important, and that is that we know about this largely through bike friendly communities, not through the mayor's office or through public works or any of those channels. And now we're trying to work out what the radius of this circle is without having any plan before us, without having any documentation to look at, without having any expert consultation. I mean, we really do need to see these documents rather than just sort of talking about them on the basis of what we've heard or what's been reported in the media.
You're referring to the plan? Like the
Yeah,
plan?
I mean, we weren't given the original plan, which was problematic. We haven't been given this revised plan, and we need to have a look at it to see what we think and provide useful feedback. And we can't do that unless we've seen it.
Okay. Well, Scott would be the person, our point person on that, I would assume. So I might try and give him a call tomorrow and see if I can get him on the phone.
It would be,
Wonder-
sorry, Carrie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe it is simply a matter of asking, like, could you send these and future plans that, to our group so that we can take a look through this lens and help with that side of things. And
Yes.
we've just not really asked it that plainly before, I think.
I think we should. I mean, these new AT paths, I mean, they sound good, but and I'm probably 95% confident we'll give them a thumbs up. But we might have some input which will be useful. But I mean, all we know is a vague sense of where they're going.
Yeah, I have some input. I would like to talk about one of the pathways as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, maybe Sharon, if you wouldn't mind asking if he could forward those revised plans for the Belvedere roundabout and for the future for the AT trails that he mentioned, so we can have a look at them and see if we've got anything to add. Do other people agree with me on this?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Just, it's, I think we have asked for an AT lens.
Yeah.
I think we have specified that. I think it's been in the minutes. So I do believe I heard the dimensions or the measurements regarding this on the news. I can't, I wouldn't be able to recite them, but I know that I did hear about everybody coming together and the needle being moved with the leadership of Bike Friendly Community. So that's much appreciated by the task force.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that tomorrow and I'll have an email back to you as soon as I hear from him.
Okay. Thank you very much. So that's all for Public Works. Next is Parks and Recreation. Do we have a report for Parks and Rec?
I've been in contact with Nancy, and she had nothing to report beyond that she was looking forward to Bike Week. So I talked to her about a week ago. So nothing of any import for us.
I have, Richard, I have something to bring up.
Okay.
Down on the park that's just down from me now, I can't remember the park's name. It's on Spring Lane. It's named after a gentleman. There's
Macaulay.
Thank you.
Sorry, what was it? Macaulay?
Frank Macaulay, I believe.
Yes, she's correct.
Hey.
There's an active transportation pathway that has been ripped all up from the winter, and they
Okay.
do have it cordoned off and stuff. I'm just wondering if there's a plan this year to fix that.
I'll drop her a line as soon as we're done.
Thank you. I don't know if they're in charge of it, but I think if their department knew, then
Yeah, they'll forward it in the right direction, I guess.
Okay. Next then is police. Do we have a report for police?
I do not have a report from police, but
Okay.
I do have a question, and perhaps this belongs with Richard. I have an
Sure.
interest. Do we still have Ruth DeLong doing the trails for the province? I'm wondering if it would ever at some point be interesting to hear her come and chat with us, kind of the rural urban trails. Is anyone familiar with Ruth?
No.
Can you say her name again, Mark? Sorry.
Ruth DeLong.
Thank you. So
She's
we
the
were-
Trails and Community Relations Coordinator for Tourism PEI.
Okay.
And she has a really great passion for it. And I just thought it might be, you know, I know they have a lot of work going on. I just wondered if that was something that the task force might have an interest in hearing, you know, a little more detail on projects and how she's been able to move things forward in her job.
So I've just Googled her. Yeah, and so she's Trails Community Relations Coordinator. So she's with the province. Should we extend a formal invitation to her? I mean, I'm happy enough to write to her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know,
I think
it's,
she would probably be interested in being involved.
It doesn't hurt to make contacts.
she has offered prior
Okay.
to me, but I'm thinking it was quite a bit of time ago. But I think it would be really, she is passionate about it, and it'd be neat to kind of have her join us
Okay.
and just get that rural lens, perhaps.
Yep. Do you want me to contact her? Happy enough to do it.
Sure, Richard, if you're offering.
Yep, I got it up right here, so I got her address already.
Okay, and I was gonna wait, but maybe I'll mention it now because I think it falls in Parks and Rec. And that's, I don't know if you've seen it, the new paved pathway that takes you all the way to the airport on like where Norwood and Oak are. You know the pathway I'm talking about?
Yeah, did you try it out yet?
I did, and my only concern is that like it's paved all the way down, but there's like quite a little bit of a drop off from like where because there's pavement and then there's like a little section where there's like gravel or like rocks and kind of gravelly, but there's like a good like maybe an inch, 2 inch drop. And if you just with me and my friend he was walking on it, and like if you weren't aware of that, like at night you could fall and you could trip, and I don't know if it might be something to look at next time you go down it as well, because that was the only thing that I really noticed that could cause concern to people in the future. Like I don't know if you're on a bike and it would do anything, but just a little bit of a drop from the asphalt to when the pavement on the pathway there.
Is it an issue in the chair?
Well, like I don't know if it's an issue for me, like not really, but it would be more for like just somebody if you weren't paying attention and it might be a little drop. I don't know.
Okay.
It's yeah.
With that, and I think that's a provincial trail, that part. So I wonder, or not provincial, I think that's city. I wonder if Scott Adams would be the person to tell that to.
Okay.
Okay, cause yeah, like it was just my friend was on it with me, and he kind of tripped a little, and we're just thinking like, yeah, it might be something to mention to them, cause like especially at night, like there's no lighting there, so it's kind of dark, and you
Yeah,
might want to
is that down by the end of the pond?
like do you know where the overpass is by
Yeah.
Norwood to Oak? Like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's right on the side after the overpass. It takes you
Okay.
all the way out to the airport, like big
Yeah,
long
so
path.
it's the part of Norwood. It's up on like the main road. You're not talking going down the hill towards the pond.
No. It's before the hill. It's
Right.
like there's like a yellow house right on the corner. It's like right before that yellow house, and you go all the way down it. But it like the pathway's far. Like the pathways also were on Norwood where all those new apartment buildings are, the big apartment complexes. It takes you right there down to Hillsborough as well. Like, well, I think. We can use it for new business, but it might be good to have like a time where we all get together and you go down these pathways just to get familiar with them.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea to point
That's
that out
great.
to them.
That's a great, yes. Well, since Scott Adams is my liaison, I will address that in my email as well. Okay, Ryan?
Okay. Okay. And how about sustainability? Do we have a report?
Who is sustainability?
Or was it maybe Joanne?
That was probably Joanne.
Oops.
I know when I was speaking to the mayor, he did say that Ramona is working with the city of Halifax for a year coming up, I think. So I'm not sure who maybe we'd interface with Jessica. Is it Jessica?
Right.
So I guess maybe we should reach out and contact them. Maybe I'll buzz the mayor and see what happens in that situation.
Sure.
And who's going to take over that file from the committee?
It's a good question.
I think technically we're supposed to be looking for a new member to take Joanne's place.
Yeah.
and
How
You
is the
know-
recruitment process coming?
I don't know
Well-
if there's anything out there yet.
I don't think they've advertised anything for it. in the
Okay.
city.
I can ask him about that one. I'll just give him a quick buzz. I'll send him a message.
Because
Sure.
I did have a couple people, that I think might be able to, but I was just, yeah, I looked and I didn't really see anything. So I was like, okay.
It may have been like overlooked or something, or maybe there's a certain
Okay.
time of year. I don't know, but they would usually do it. But once, I think they have to put out the formal call for applications and then they would apply that way.
Okay.
But yes. Until then.
Joanne lived in Sherwood, did she? Did Joanne live in Sherwood, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
So do we need somebody to cover off on sustainability for the short term?
I'm sending a message to the mayor now, so maybe we'll hear something before the meeting. If we don't, I guess
Okay.
he'll give us the information and we'll figure out where it goes from there.
Sounds great. Next then is cycling PEI.
Nothing on that front. No, they did send
Okay.
out a very nice newsletter here in the past couple weeks, which looked really, really great. And I let them know that it had a lot of great information promoting all kinds of things across the province, and said looked good. But other than that, nothing new.
Okay. And bike friendly Charlottetown or bike friendly
Communities.
community.
It was actually correct in the agenda. We're catching on. That's what we get for changing our name, really. Well, I think you all probably know most of what we've been up to lately. As mentioned, the roundabout, we kind of mobilized and did a bit of a letter writing campaign with our email list, and that we heard from lots of people who wrote and lots of councillors who responded positively, and I think that was a big part of changing the tide on that roundabout. So that and we had that meeting that they did have with the city staff was really positive, and like the city came to the meeting already with this plan. Like they were just ready to talk about it. And I think we've said in BFC, like, to us, this wasn't just about this one roundabout. This was about the implications that this will now have for the future projects, is that AT should be a factor from the beginning and hopefully will be. So that was a really, yeah, we're really, oh, good. And then at the same time, we were planning this bike-friendly block party, which was in partnership with the city. And that was on Saturday, and it went really, really well. The sun came out just for that like 5-hour block. So that couldn't have been better. And it was a steady flow of people and lots of just a really nice community feel, and definitely felt like something that could be done annually and continue to grow in scope. And it was really nice. It was the first in-person event, first big one we've done since pre-pandemic. So it was felt like a good momentum in that way too. So, and we've got a big summer ahead. We're going to be doing, might see us around because we're doing some outreach and some pop-ups at various events, which will be looking to get really specific information on what people want for infrastructure, because we're putting together a network plan for the capital region as part of the funding we were given from provincial government to work on outreach and advocacy. So you'll see us around. We're also going to be hosting route rides once a week on Tuesday evenings, which we're going to advertise. I think they start next week, which are directed toward kind of people who are new to the idea of using their bike to get around, and would be very much like very beginner friendly, and very like the purpose would be to kind of show different connectors that you can use in the Charlottetown area to get to different places you might want to go. So we've had a couple of those last summer and they were really well received. So we're going to make it a weekly event this summer and see how that goes.
And that will be on your, would that be on your website?
Yes, I'm working this week on getting all of that up, all of that information out. It will be our Facebook page is a good place to get the most up-to-date information, but I will update it on the website as well.
You have a lot going on, Carrie.
It's a lot of action. The last few weeks have been pretty busy.
Well, I can't thank you enough for everything you did with that roundabout. I live close to there, so.
Oh, great.
It means a lot to me down in my neck of the woods.
Oh, that's good. And it was very much an all hands on deck effort with the group over there at BFC. So yeah, feels good.
And so now we're back to the Belvedere roundabout discussion. Does anybody have anything else to discuss about it?
Yeah, so, sorry, Doug asked me if there were anything that we should add to the agenda. So I stuck this in, but we've already covered everything that I was going to bring up under Section 5A. But the broader issue is just that we do need to have a look at plans before they go too far, and as Margaret said, look at things through an AT lens and offer some insight. So that's all I was going there. And again, to congratulate Bike Friendly Communities on the work that they did for this.
Mm-hmm. And as somebody said that it's one way, do you know which way it would be going? Like, or anything about that, or is that?
Be to the right, I guess, because they go. It's counterclockwise. Yeah.
Yeah, counterclockwise.
It's the same way as the vehicle traffic would go through the roundabout.
Okay. And is that the only roundabout that's going to have that kind of, like, that kind of different differentiality from all the other ones, or is it just going to be the same as all the other roundabouts? Because that'll probably cause confusion for people if that one's different than everyone else, wouldn't it?
It's the only one I'm aware of. They're probably going to try to not do it if they can because of the confusion.
Yeah, it's probably one of the busiest roundabouts in my opinion. So
That intersection will be very, very busy. I don't know. Like, even if they could do something like pull on the outside of the active transportation walk pathway, if they could pull it like a foot to the right of where it's going to be now and a foot to the left. Like, I think standard is 8 feet, right? And this one's probably like 6 feet or something. I would think, if they're saying people can only be one side. So if they could pull like a foot on the outside, pull a foot on the inside, and then pull the center circumference in a foot. I don't know if that's possible, but that would get you your extra 2 feet, right? I'm not an engineer. I don't know, but just some ideas. But if maybe they could, once we make contact with them about it, maybe that might be an option. I don't know.
Do you know, Jason, if the AT loop is going to be distinct from the car lane? Is it going to be raised up like a sidewalk?
That I don't know. Have you heard anything, Carrie?
Yes, the AT lane, the whole point was to get it separated. So it's
Okay.
completely separated.
Separated in height?
It's replacing what would have been concrete sidewalk.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's going to be higher. There's not going to be like a barrier and then it's at the same.
No,
yeah.
it's going to be ramped from like
Right.
as you're approaching the roundabout.
Yeah.
And I think for the cyclist, the one directional traveling is not anything different than you would be doing if you were behaving as a vehicle in the roundabout. I think it's the pedestrian side of things that's a bit unusual if that's what they're being asked to do.
Well, I see a lot of people on bikes go up one-way streets downtown.
Well, okay.
That's the.
But
that's,
just in terms of technically.
Yeah, technically, if they're doing what they're supposed to do. The problem is people don't do what they're supposed to do, right? Like, my wife said to me one day, she was like, well, I can't, everybody wears helmets. I said, honey, only half the people wear helmets, if that. And she said, no, everybody wears helmets. And then we got driving home, and I was like, there's a person without a helmet, and there's a person without a helmet, and there's a person. So it was like half the people didn't have helmets, right? So, and then I see downtown people all the time going up one-way streets, no helmet, up the wrong way, on the sidewalk, on the road. So I hope that nobody does something stupid on this, because it's just going to make everything bad.
yeah, the complication of one-way pathway for, like, so is it just for cyclists? Like, could somebody in a wheelchair go down it? Like, just one way? Like, some of that stuff, like, I agree, not everybody's gonna listen to that, and how are they gonna enforce it? It doesn't.
Yeah,
I can't really see pedestrians using it in one direction.
No.
Especially
Yeah.
if the place they're trying to get to is like on the next one over the other direction. Logistically.
Yeah, you're not going to walk 270 degrees when you can just go 90 degrees the
Yes,
other way.
but I'm actually not confident if that was the intention. I should go back and look at the announcement and stuff. Because I know it said one directional, but I don't know if that was intended just for the cyclist. Maybe.
Yeah.
Which would make sense in a way.
maybe. I don't know.
I will see if I can clarify.
I think if there's a way they can tweak the design to pull, like I said, foot on the outside that way, foot on the inside, pull the circle in the center back, the circumference of that back by a foot or two. That might bring it up to where they need to be, because I think that one-way thing is going to be a danger.
So just for anyone's interest, the full joint media release that we did with the city, the city did with us, is available on our BFC website, which is bfcpei.ca under news. And I'm just bringing it up now because that media release contains some of the details, specifics about the changes. So if that's interesting to anyone, you can see the details there because they weren't in all of the news.
I wonder what the standard circumference of a roundabout is in the center. Like what what would it be called? Like a, by code. I wonder what that would be.
I guess that's another question for Scott. Or we might be able to Google it.
I think there's
Go
different.
Google.
I mean, honestly, like Charlottetown sidewalks that are done by the city are not done by code. They're smaller than they're supposed to be. If you look at the actual code of a sidewalk, what it should be, it's almost double than what we do downtown. They do it for a bunch of reasons. One, cost, I would imagine, would be one factor. Another is we do have a lot of tight spaces in downtown. So I don't know if they would be adhering to the code or not.
Okay. Well, I can.
I know
ask-
that I know that when contractors do sidewalks, like if you look in Stratford, you'll see sidewalks that are much wider over there. Because when contractors do them, they do them to a certain code. Like you'll see that they'll put in proper curbs that go down into the ground that are anchored. Like here, we just have curbs on top of pavement that are locked in by dirt. Like it's a totally different game here than it is other places.
Okay.
Isaac Williams just replied to me. I just asked if this had come up at the meeting, and he could not remember verbatim, but when they did ask about finding extra space for the perimeter, there was a mention of like large truck traffic was brought up as maybe a barrier to doing that. But it would probably be good for us to seek out that answer ourselves.
Yeah, I've just got the press release up. So the construction of a unidirectional 1.5 meters. So what's that? 6.5 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Paved active transportation path circulates on the outside of the roundabout, will replace the sidewalk. All users will be directed to circulate counterclockwise, the same as vehicle traffic. So that says that's pedestrians as well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So it's more than 6 feet they're giving. So yeah, even if they could pull out like 3/4 of a foot on the outside and 3/4 of a foot on the inside, do you know what I mean? Like that way, maybe that's an option.
Actually, sorry, 1.5 meters is less than 6 feet, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Let me
6
just.
feet, yeah, 6 feet's 1.8.
1.5 meters. Siri says it's 4.92 feet. That's pretty tiny.
That's 5, yeah, so 5 feet, yeah. So one bike will have difficulty getting around one pedestrian. Stick
Yes.
somebody in there with a stroller or something.
Oh yeah.
Well, they wouldn't be able to get by. They would have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my question is, where do they go if somebody's there? Like when you run into somebody, because it's going to happen, right? I'm wondering what happens.
I think
And
these
that's
are
kind of
valid
why I bring up
questions,
that thing on the side, like those pathways. Some of the like drop thing. I don't like if that kind of you kind of blend that in there. I don't know if that's going to be like that too, but just like a spots people could move out of the way so that if the biker's there or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reading this over, it sounds like it'll actually be quite difficult for pedestrians to navigate if there's anything else. I mean, it'll be reasonably risky unless people get off their bikes and walk it.
Yeah, that does sound 4.92. That's smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it was at least 6. So. Well, all we can do is send something off, I guess. And
Yeah.
then, I don't know, Carrie, if maybe the bike friendly crew could inject in that as well. I don't know.
I can bring it up with them. I think that we've taken this Yeah, the bike friendly group has had a really good success to get them to put AT in and found a
Well,
good,
Well, they're not going to take it off the table, but it's something
no,
that,
it's definitely there.
like,
Um,
I just think there's a little bit more tweaking that, I
mhm.
think needs to be
Yeah,
looked at here, because I don't know if everybody's kind of,
because all in all, even though active the AT pathways, the bicycles are going to use them, but you'd have to say that more pedestrians will be on them than bikes if they're removing the sidewalk. So
Well,
you kind of have to incorporate that as well.
and what I don't want to see happen is, cyclists get aggravated and they say, well, this is ridiculous. We're going to go on the roundabout, like,
Yep.
because I think the whole thing is to try to get people out of the roundabout and into the pathway.
Mhm.
Didn't
I was
somebody
just going to say, in terms of the spirit of good relationships and good solutions, is that I think Bike Friendly has done an incredible job with this. And so how much more can we maybe it should come directly more from us, and in terms of moving in and getting it a little bit bigger. The way that I heard it and read it, it was a really collaborative process, and that people were really happy with how it turned out, and that the city of Charlottetown came with their game. And so I'm just wondering, is there any way to move, as even if it's 3 inches one way, it just may be a hard stop on this. And I'm just, in terms of good relationships and good solutions, maybe it should come directly from this AT, and perhaps Bike Friendly community could just offer a letter of support if they so felt that they could, or maybe they have more intel that it is a hard stop on this.
There's no reason that we can't ask. And Bike Friendly's mandate is bikes, right? Ours is AT across the board. So it would, I think, be perfectly legitimate for us to say we worry about pedestrian safety and non-bike users' safety. On
It's
this.
both. Active transportation is everybody. We can't be segregating ourselves. We have to have everybody's, focus in mind here.
And
Okay, and then if that's what we're gonna do, then what are the action steps that we need to take to move it?
I just wondered if there's any way, like, I think just the first thing, just sending something out to Scott Adams to say, just we talked about it, and it's a really tight space. Is there any way we can pull a foot in and a foot out or something just to see what he says? And then we'll kind of know from there, like, what he says.
yeah, I agree with
That's our best step. Is that our best way to move forward with that, is to go to Scott, or should we actually, go in a little stronger?
He's the person in charge of it, so I think he's the guy we need to talk to. If we don't get what we need to, we can talk to the mayor, but I don't think we need to do that until we talk to Scott.
Yeah, I agree with Jason, and I'd use the word safety a few times in
Definitely.
there.
When I was thinking about this email, of course, I'm going to say ATP users, active transportation users or participants, versus bike or whatever. So that's all encompassing. And then also talk about how there's an opinion of this committee that there's some safety issues with regards to how small the ATP lane is, and that we really need to look at some solutions to give us 1.5 to 2 more feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sound reasonable?
Oh, absolutely. And he'll tell you right away. Like,
Yes.
and I'm sure, if he comes back, the biggest question I think we're going to have out of the safety issue is what have they been doing for standard roundabouts? Is this a standard roundabout? If it is, then can the center circumference be shrunk a little bit? I'm sure they've thought about this type of stuff. We just haven't been involved in it, right? So, I guess we just have to ask some questions and kind of see what he says.
Also, if the word safety is in there and there is an accident, the city's going to look very, very bad because they have been warned at the planning stage, which is why they will take it more seriously if the word safety is in there.
Yep, and I think everybody wants safety. I think that's the biggest.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that's come out of this, you know, is to have the raised pathway, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Other than that, I think that's the next.
Yeah, we have a tight frame window, Jason, because I don't know when in July they're going to start, but for sure I'll need to do this tomorrow morning and see if I can get something back by, let's hope, tomorrow. He was pretty good. I put a thing out to him yesterday and he did get back to me today late. So,
I have a feeling going forward, he's going to get back to you more quickly.
okay, perfect. So, that will work out great. Hopefully within
Tell
20.
me why, Jason.
I just have a feeling. Seems like I think things are might be better at City Hall.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Can we have a
With-
private meeting, Jason?
I don't know anything more than you do. I'm just
You got a feeling.
I just
It's
have
like that,
feeling.
it's
That's
like
all.
that song.
Got a feeling.
Yeah.
Right. And with that, next subject is return to in-person meetings.
Yeah, so again, this was something Doug alluded to, so I just wanted to bring it up. He asked us, are we meeting in person or are we staying online? I think this dovetails into the question of what sort of person we want to be joining the group down the road. Because if we go in person, we've got to continue. Well, we yeah, okay, just a couple of things related. I think we need to keep our meetings at this time. Somebody mentioned the other day that we should contemplate moving to sort of a lunchtime time frame, which if we're doing it in person, which is what some of the other committees do, then we're going to lose possible members and we won't be nearly as diverse a group as we could be.
I know for myself, that's not possible for me just because of the nature of my work. I'm all over the place at different times.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Me
It's
too.
hard. It's hard for me. Virtually works good or in person for me. I just don't know if the lunchtime thing is any good for me. I don't know about other people, but
I like the virtual myself, but I mean, I'm flexible for both.
Can we do both? Can we do virtual and in person?
yeah, I don't see why not.
I'll just speak
Yeah.
for myself. I like the time, for sure. But I'm open to either. But I'm not against having the energy of being in a room together too, you know?
We could also arm wrestle, so that's the other benefit.
Speak for yourself, Jason.
Hey, you might be really good. You don't know.
I've never seen your biceps, Jason, so I'm not putting that down yet.
It's a gun show. I'm telling you. Right now.
I have arm wrestled Sharon before and I've won.
Oh, please.
See what if you don't ask, you don't know, right?
Well, then I think it might be good to just leave it as it is for like maybe the next couple meetings at least, because we it sounds like we have a good vibe how we have it here. Like it would be changing it up to do it at lunchtime there. Like it sounds like we're kind of across the board saying that this time is good. If it's working for everyone, I guess there's no need to change it. I know for me, I have some difficulty sometimes in the evening freeing up my time, but as long as I know well in advance like I do now of upcoming meetings, I can program my time better. So I think just staying as we are is probably the best option.
What about if we readdress this in the fall, like September? We'll go like this for the summer, and then we'll plan for maybe an in-person meeting starting in September, just one, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's wise. I agree with Ryan. I think this is a fairly convenient slot for me certainly, and I like the virtual option.
Would anybody like to do, since it is summer, maybe an upcoming meeting in my gazebo? We could do an in-person, but kind of a outdoor.
That would
Sure.
be lovely, Ryan.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like a barbecue or something.
We could do.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow. Yes, I like the hammock.
We could do it out here.
Yes, that's lovely.
Ooh.
And the thing is, we can still record the video and stuff like that.
Geez, you got a nice spot.
If we want, just
Goodness.
a thought.
Yes, that's a great idea. That will be a nice August meeting because it would be
Sure.
warm.
Right.
So let's do August meeting at Jason's.
All right.
It'd be good to
same.
see people because we haven't seen each other in quite a long time. So
Yes, it's been a long time.
Could we do it at 6 p.m. though? Obviously.
yeah, no, that's not a problem.
And last, do we have any new business?
I got a couple of messages from the mayor, which I should relay. The mayor said that the Standing Committee for Public Works and Beautification is meeting Thursday morning, and he thought that a couple of representatives from the task force wanted to raise some issues with the committee. Is that right? Are there people who want to talk to Public Works and Beautification Standing Committee?
I think the consensus was, if I remember during emails, that we weren't going to go that route.
I think it was more about us trying to get a hold of Public Works on things, but I mean, they've been having that meeting with about the roundabout and that kind of thing. So
Yep.
But
If there are any concerns, and if you want someone to represent for any reason, I can be available on Thursday till 12 noon.
Yeah, he didn't actually send me the time of the meeting, so I can't help with that.
I'm not sure exactly how the meetings work and how that would work in the context of a meeting, but I know that when we submitted, when BFC was submitting their concerns, that was the committee to go through to get things considered, even at, if you want something to be in a council meeting package to be considered, it has to go through that committee first. Because we are not allowed to just submit something to the council. Well, I'm not sure about this group, but yes, so that's the path. If we want to go
should
deliberative
we-
council.
So Carrie, am I hearing you correctly in stating that this could be the path that we take to further our recommendation for an AT lens to occur on any new development or
I think that
redevelopment
would be, I think
property?
Jason's right. And the first step is to simply ask Scott, because I think he might just say, yes, here's the plans. But if it does need to go to another avenue, then I think that's the next path, just based on my understanding, just having gone through the process kind of with BFC. But again, being the mayor's task force, maybe there is another avenue available to us that I don't, like through the mayor, I don't know.
So in hearing that, I'm wondering if, I'm wondering if I could just ask the mayor directly. Would that be okay with the task force if I ask the mayor directly? What is our process? Like maybe I'm missing a step here. And
He's a super friendly guy. I don't think he'd have a problem with you asking him anything.
Yeah, not at all.
I think I'll ask him and ask him if that would be a path forward for us to see if we couldn't really push forward that AT lens on all new property development. Like there's a lot of property development happening where it's a new space, or it's, things are in a closed in area. And have we really looked at the AT component of that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea.
I'll send him a note and I'll report back.
Also, the other item I got, I think everybody got, was the notice about the survey that was sent around, and also the community open house, which is tomorrow between 6 and 8 at the Rod, Charlottetown. I was advised to pass those on. So if you've not done the survey yet, do the survey and put active transportation as one of your top priorities for the city going forward.
Okay.
Good-
Is there
good
a due
idea.
date of when you have to get it in, or is it
Ryan, I'm gonna have to open up that email.
No, it's June 24th.
Okay, so just 3
Okay.
days then.
And just to make
Okay.
note that you can forward that on to people that are stakeholders. So business owners in the city and even residents. It said that in the email as well.
Yeah, I posted it to Facebook actually.
Because the more people that will give more, I think, value.
Agreed.
Yes, it looks like they've hired a external consulting firm to do that work, so it should be a very involved process. That's all I got from the mayor.
anything else?
I think that's everything.
Okay, then the last thing I wanted to just mention, I mentioned it earlier, with all the new transportation paths opening, even in Sherwood and all that. Would we want to do like a little exercise day and go through them as a group kind of thing, or would anybody be open for doing that? Maybe sometime in the summer?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
In theory, I'm away for a bit of July, but in theory, yes.
Yeah, maybe we can discuss it next meeting about like maybe around August or
Yeah.
September or something like that. We might have already personally went through it ourselves, but as a group it might be good. I don't know.
Just a suggestion, there is the
Like,
Tuesday bike night or what for new bikers that Carrie mentioned. That would be a good
Yeah.
time because it's already been mapped out for us. We could just bust in that.
yes, that's a good idea.
That would
If
be
they
fun,
don't mind a
actually.
wheelchair in the middle.
Oh,
I
gosh.
love it.
Oh, and the meeting spot is Red Island Cidery. A good central.
Where's that at?
It's right next to the 9/11.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
know where it is, yeah.
Yeah, right next to the trail.
That's where we start.
That's the meeting spot. Yes.
Yeah, you take a drink there, and then you go to the next one. You take another drink, and by the time you're done, you get.
Well, I
The-
mean,
the-
yeah, the idea.
The goal
you
is
could
to
wrap
not
up
bike.
there.
Don't bike and drink.
Uh,
What I'm
no,
saying.
How many
Yeah.
kilometers is it, Carrie?
They're going to be different, I think, each week. They were going today, I think, to map out some of the routes, but their goal was to keep it to like 45 minutes to an hour total each week. And
Yeah,
with
it's
the
on
evening
your
pace.
calendar, 6:30 to 7:30, starting on the 28th.
It is on the calendar. That is the one thing I got done so far this week.
Oh, okay.
today was Shining Waters Day at my son's school, so I went to shepherd a bunch of 5-year-olds around a water park.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, good
That's what I got done today.
heavens.
Yeah.
Glad that period of my life is over.
Well, we had fun.
Good.
It rained on us all day.
Yeah, I just think that's going with the bike friendly communities we'd be adding people to that, which is good. And we'd also get to see real-time feedback from all of us and them.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, or I mean, if you wanted to, we could even arrange an exclusive event or something if we
Oh,
wanted
you're gonna
to.
give us a tour?
I don't know. I shouldn't speak for them. I'm not the one that leads these things. So-
No.
But I can bring it up. It would be nice to have the two groups meet because we do a lot of parallel work.
Or a ride and talk. Like maybe we all try to go on July to that Tuesday that they have it.
Yes.
Yeah, make one specific one for sure that everyone's there.
As we can, you know?
Yep.
That would be fun.
Well, with that, I think that's everything. Well, I don't think anybody has any new business, so let's adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Talk to everybody soon.
Talk
Thank
to
Thank you.
everybody
See
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.